currently, through all stage 1, there were no language barriers within the team. You guys had previously performed together and had that kind of synergy. Are there any concerns about language barriers coming up or a lack of synergy with the new players?
To a certain extent, I guess. Obviously, there is going to be the initial language barrier of them having to learn English, and I'm fairly confident we're getting a translator. So that is going to help them improve a lot. I think Ryder's English has been pretty decent in chat, at least. So I don't really have any concerns with that. I've heard side players speak English on stream. I think it's mainly awesome guy. But overall, coordinating a dive is not the hardest thing in the world. You need to be able to count down, you need to be able to, the simple go and backs. So I think it'll take a time for them to be like fluent and, be really good in comms. But I think the initial start with the help of translators will be fairly easy for us.
Excellent. So with the changes to the balance, obviously favoring your preferred play style, what are your predictions for how at least the beginning phase, while everybody's adapting, of stage 2 is going to turn out for you guys?
I think most teams are just kind of reverting back to dive because it's something they're familiar with, or like at least for previous teams. Maybe teams are mixed right now, but I think most teams are still familiar with the dive concept because that's been in the meta for so long previously. I've seen some teams experimenting with more tanks, still some Junkrat in there, every now and then a Fire Mercy, so I think it's still all over the place kind of. Most teams will be reverting to dive, I think, for now, but I think the longer the stage lasts, I think teams will be starting experimenting more. Similarly, with the balance changes, we have a new map pool for the stage. How are you feeling about the maps and your performance on them and your comfort level on those maps? I think the maps are great. I think there's a lot of good maps for us in this map pool. I think we've showcased, a few good points for us on the recent maps against our series versus N1XL, so look forward to our performance on those new maps. Excellent.
Moving forward, you guys are bringing in the new players. You're going to have a lot of a change in kind of the chemistry of your team makeup and stuff. And with that, a lot of the old strategies, you talk about everybody kind of falling back on old strategies. You're not going to really have that same benefit with all the new players on the roster. So what are your goals going forward? And what is your strategy going into stage 2?
Going into stage 2, I said we have those plans that we can fall back on. I think there's always, the meta might have been, the same at the time, which is a dive meta, but teams have become smarter, overall, like, personal performance, like, especially the Zenyatas have been gotten very good at, 1v1ing Tracer, so that's like, you kind of don't take those anymore, or you're more careful. But I think overall, the more people on the team, there's going to be more brains to talk about stuff, and I think that will just, launch new strategies for us.
Considering your stage 1 standings, do you think you guys are going to be underestimated coming into stage 2, and do you think that's going to work to your advantage?
To a certain extent, I think our scrim performance has always been better than what we showcase on stage, so I don't think teams completely underestimate us. But yeah, obviously this on-stage performance from us is lacking, but I think with the communication being better, we're just extremely motivated to get better and put up a better show in stage 2.
Excellent. So with the solemn gesture today aside, should we expect a lot more meme-worthy entrances from the Florida Mayhem?
If it was up to me, we wouldn't have any, but I'm pretty sure, the team is very fun, and, they're very excited to do this intro, so I don't know, maybe we'll see in the future.
Gotcha. And so the stage 2 changes have kind of come right before we're going to see even more balance changes in the casual game.
Yeah.
What is something that's coming up in the casual game that you wish could have been included in stage 2?
To be fair, honest, I haven't really checked too much into them. I know the Summer has got a huge change. That's pretty exciting, but to be fair, because the Owl patch is like the 2 patches away from the actual live patch, or like BTR patch at the time, it's like very hard for us to look too much into that stuff because we're like very focused on what patch we're playing right now and optimizing the strategies on that patch.
And one more question, one more big question rather. Now that the kind of playing field has been evened out, especially in the support class, what do you think the standings are going to look like compared to stage 1? Do you think we're going to see something similar with certain teams being in the top half versus bottom half, or do you think it's going to completely change out?
That's a hard question. Obviously, there's some new teams, newly found teams with the Overwatch League, so I think it's harder to say how they will do. obviously, you know, they've played this one style for stage 1, and they have to completely, well, pretty much change it for stage 2. So it's going to be interesting for those teams to showcase how well they deal with that, as well as other teams. I think, you know, Seoul Dynasty, New York XL, Self, you know, we're pretty confident in our old styles, so I think we will do better than people expect. But overall, I wouldn't be so sure setting standings. I think it's going to be tight races between all the teams.
Excellent. Thank you so much.